Hey guys, so I wanted to take a second just to show you how to do graphing and plotting points in Hawks. And so the first thing, I just pulled up my practice. You're going to see this homework question on the right hand of your screen. Consider the following: A, -4, 0, and B, -2, -5. So the first thing is this idea. Don't forget that I go left or right and then up or down depending on the value. So left I go negative, right I go positive, up I am positive, down I'm negative. And then this is always going to correspond with x comma y. So this first one, A, -4, 0, means that I'm going to go left 4 and then up, down 0. And so how we do this in Hawks is you can see I've got these two general points on the screen. What you're going to do is hold down your mouse, and that's going to allow you to move these points around. Notice how the dot turned red. That means that I am able to move it. And so to -4, 0, I'm going to go left 4, up, down 0. Now, make sure that the one that they've said that's A up on the top, -4, 0, corresponds with the A down below above the physical point, the dot. B is going to be the point -2, -5. And so I'm going to go left 2 and then down 5. And so I'm going to hold that point down. See how it's red now? I'm going to go left 2, 1, 2, and then down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so those are going to be my 2 points. Okay? And then the next part, I was going to say, okay, now let's go the opposite direction. And so now they gave me 2 points, and they want me to now find the actual coordinates. So where are these things in space? Now, still, I'm going backwards. I have to do left, right first, and then up or down. So A, I'm going to go left 2, and then up 4. So A is going to be -2. See if it's going to work. 4. And then B is going to be right 4. So that's going to be a +4. And then down 2, -2. Okay? All right, let's look at the next one. And so the next one says 5x minus y equals 9. And they want me to determine the missing coordinate for 2 ? So what I'm looking for essentially is, what does y equal? Because it's in the second place in my coordinate. And so I've got this equation, 5x minus y. 5x minus y equals 9. So x is 2 because it's in the first place, minus y equals 9, minus 10. I'm going to divide by -1 and get y equals 1. And so this one, I would just type in a 1. I don't know why it's not liking that. There we go. Okay? All right, let's look at another one. So I'm going to skip some of these so that you can see another type of example of graphing. Well, maybe. Here we go. Not really graphing, but another type of problem. And so with this one, 4x plus 0.4y equals 1.2. Now, what we're going to do with this one, the first thing it says is compute the missing x and y value so that each ordered pair will satisfy the given equation. And so what we're looking for is I need to finish the table. Notice there's some blanks in there. The top y is blank, and the bottom x is blank, and then they gave me some x's and y's. And so it says it up above, but another way is just using the table, but it also says that with the ordered pairs at the very, very top of that screen. And so what this thing means, 0.5y what that means is let x equal 0.5 and solve for y. So I've got 4 times 0.5 plus 0.4y equals 1.2. Okay, I'm going to multiply 4 times 0.5 is going to give me 2. Carry everything else down. Subtract 2 from both sides. 1.2 minus 2 is going to give me negative 0.8. Carry everything down. Divide by 0.4. And so I've got negative 0.8 divided by 0.4 is going to give me y equals negative 2. And so that's what I would fill in for y. Would do the same thing for x. The only difference is you're using that same equation, 4x plus 0.4y equals 1.2. You're using that same equation, except this time you're letting y equal 3. And so you will finish out this equation and then solve for x. All right, I want to find the fraction one. Well, this will work. Let's start here with the decimals. Plot the point 0.25 3, that's point A, and point B is going to be negative 1, 0.75 for B. All right, so we've got decimals, which is good because if it was fractions, we would just convert it to decimals first, but they gave it to me in decimals. 0.25 means that I'm going to go right 0.25, and then 3 means that I'm going to go up 3. So to get the dot, I just click anywhere on the graph, or you could click on the appropriate spot. So I'm going to go to the right 0.25. Now notice, I'm going to try and zoom in. Notice that 1, I skip a space, and then that's 1. So here where my point is, in that middle between 0 and 1, that would be 0.5. 0.25 is going to be halfway between 0 and 1/2. So for this one over here, where I need 0.25 to the right, I'm going to take my dot and move it halfway to the half. So that's the 0.25, and then I'm going to go up to 3. Be very careful of this scale because they've now decided to skip a space and then call that 1. I see a lot of students miss because they just go 0.25 over 1, 2, 3. However, they have counted a little bit differently, so make sure you pay attention to that. And then letter B is going to be negative 1, 0.75. So put my dot on there. Okay, so it's starting at the origin. Negative 1 means I'm going to go left 1. 0.75 means I'm going to go up 0.75. So I'm going to go left 1. Pay attention to my scale. Negative 1's way over here. Just had to skip that. Negative 1, and then I'm going to go up a half and then another half, because 0.75 would be halfway between. So here's kind of a little cheat. If this is 0 and this is 1, that middle line is half. The next one is going to be 0.75 or 3/4, and the one in between 0 and 1/2 will be 0.25 or 1/4. And that would be true for the next break up to 2. That would be 1.5, 1.25, 1.75, and so on and so forth. So there's just a little number line trick, if you will. All right, and so that's that part. And then I wanted to find, here it is, the fraction one. So with these fractions, the easiest way to think about graphing fractions is going to be convert them to a decimal. So letter A, or point A, I've got 7/2 -4. If I can type in 7/2 into my calculator, and that's going to give me out 3.5. That's going to help me when I'm plotting this point. And so 3.5 and 7/2 are the same, but this tells me I'm going to go right 3.5 or right 7/2 and then down 4. So let me get my dot. And so I'm going to go right, I've got 2 dots on here, but we're moving point A right now. I'm going to go right 3.5, and then I'm going to go down, way down here to 4. And so that's going to be my first point. My second point, letter B, or point B, is going to be 2 -6/4. Well, they didn't simplify that, but that's okay. I don't particularly, that wasn't what they were asking about. I'm just going to get a decimal version. And so this is the same thing as -3/2, which in a decimal is going to be -1.5. And so my new point will be 1.5. And remember, that decimal is just to help me graph it. You're not typing that decimal in anywhere other than just kind of making a note to yourself. So the point 2, -1.5, means I'm going to go right 2 and then down 1.5. So I'm taking point B. Let me zoom in some so it's a little bit easier to see. I'm taking point B. I'm going to go right 2, 1, 2, and then down 1.5. So I'm halfway between -1 and -2. And then I would submit that.